going on, guys? Here I'm at my house. Yeah. Okay. First of all, with my newest bow, I was a little nervous about shooting it all the time, so I toned it down. I turned these down a little bit. I turned them down really a lot, and I couldn't pull the string back, so I had to loosen it up a little bit. But the gap is a little smaller than it was before, right here, on the limbs. And I put the new string on and stuff, right? Okay, I don't know if I told you, but when you're replacing strings, it's best that you wax them, put the bow wax on them. So I waxed them, and also don't overlook these little additions. It didn't have one of these cable slides, okay, cable rod slide. This is a cable rod, and this is the cable rod slide right here, and it separates your cables, which are metal, and this is your drawstring, which is not metal, right? Okay, I got the bow upside down, but anyways, and that's what keeps this drawstring right here from smashing into your cables, okay, which can cause catastrophic failure and all that. But yeah, I didn't notice that it didn't have a cable slide on this one, right? Because on my other bow, it has it built into the cable rod itself. But on this one, I had to go and get like a $5 cable slide. Okay, it doesn't fit perfectly, but it keeps them separate and it keeps them away from the drawstring. Okay, and you don't want it to get all tangled up, because I was wondering why, when you check things, and I was wondering why my string was getting frayed, before, and it was hitting against the cable rod and hitting the other cables. So that could have been a problem. That could have made it, fray. Plus, it wasn't waxed, so that was like, it creates like a burning smell because of all that friction, And this is a powerful bow, so I decided to do that. Put it on there, so it helps it out. Okay, I've shot it a few times this morning, this afternoon rather, and but today I'm working on my regular favorite bow, and I've already had to tighten up the D-loop, okay, since it's tied and it's not metal like that other one is. Okay, when you melt your ends on there, sometimes after a while they get loose and one side will come off. You have to always watch that stuff, the little stuff like that. And as I got shooting and I noticed it, I was like, oh. And so I had to redo that D-loop a little bit and tighten it up a little bit. It's not as tight as I want it, but it's never going to be when you tie it. I mean, I'm not perfect, but you just melt the ends on there, make a flat surface so it retains the D-loop in there. And sometimes they break off or slip off or whatever, I don't know. If you're not doing it properly, that's what happens, I guess. But yeah, I've been just shooting a few arrows and making sure that both bows are okay. Like I said, I did wax that other string, and it seems to be running okay. There's a lot of pull on it, but I wasn't too I didn't feel secure with it being so, the gap being so loose on that other bow. So I did tighten it up a little bit, okay? Because you have to go by the specifications of the manufacturer, okay? Even if, like, I think Browning quit making bows or something. I could be wrong, but in 2010, I think. I'm not sure, but I think it's around 2010. So a lot of the vintage information, you have to really search for it, okay? And I know I get comments from people wanting me to tell them about their bows and how, I've got a couple. They want me to go in detail about their bows and bridge height and all that, but they vary from bow to bow, okay, guys? I don't know the specifics, but like I want to say maybe 6.5 to 8, and you want to start at 8 and just adjust it to your personal preference on the bridge height, okay? And the bridge height would be, on the strings and stuff. If you don't know what bridge height is, I advise you guys to look it up, Google it. You know, don't ask me because I'm an amateur. Okay, I'm learning as I go. Okay, I haven't been doing it this long, you know, that long. But if you want to know your bridge height, you have to know the model of your, you know, your bow and everything. So I'm sorry if I can't get into specifics on a person's bow. You know, they left a comment and they wanted me to tell them about bridge height and all that. I'm sorry I can't go into detail about that stuff. You'd have to really, you can Google it on the websites, and you know, just all you have to do is Google your name of your bow on a website and write bridge height recommendations from the manufacturer or something like that, and it'll pop up. You know, they have PDFs that will pop up, and you know, either you can download it or it will just show you a little page that tells you about your bow and stuff. Okay, because I'm not an archery guru. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I don't know all there is to know about archery, and I don't pretend to be. This is my hobby, so I'm learning as I go. Okay, guys. So take it easy on me. Okay, take it easy on me. But I'm trying. I'm sorry. I don't directly answer comments for safety reasons, you know, my family and stuff. But as far as making videos about it, you know, I've done that in the past, making videos about viewer comments. But I think it's just best if you have a comment like that, you know, like a specific comment, you should look it up first, and then you can ask me, because I probably know about the same as much as you do. Okay, I enjoy vintage bows and everything, but you know, my knowledge on all of them is not perfect. Okay, that being said, I'll just go on. You know, I'm not mad at anybody or anything. I'm just telling you, I don't know what all there is to know about archery. Okay, and I don't pretend to be the guru or whatever. I did go back to that same place I bought the Browning bow, right? And since they had the display of strings, they had quite a few of them, right? I know the first shot I bought about 3 pairs, right? And I put one on, and I still had a couple pairs. And I'm like, they're hard to come by on vintage bows. If you can find strings, you should buy them in bulk if you can. You know, that's just a good way to think, you know. Because, you know, you're always going to need strings and stuff. Okay, so when I changed my strings out, I went and today I went and bought 3 more sets of the Browning strings. 2 of them were 35, and what I mean is, from this teardrop, okay, this is a different bow, but from this teardrop to the other one, you know, the drawstring, not the cables, the drawstring on the small one is 35. Okay, the 35 length. Okay, and you can loosen it or tighten it by how many turns you turn your, you know, string when you're installing it. Okay. That being said, I also found a string for my Spectra 3000. That's an older model Hoyt USA Spectra 3000, and it's an older vintage bow as well. So the strings are hard to come by on those too. You know, you just can't walk into Bass Pro Shop and expect them to have it. Okay, you have to order them online. So I found, I believe it's 42 on the length on that one. So I bought a couple to go on that bow, you know, just in case. Okay, I haven't got any on this one, my favorite bow, but I suppose it'll be in that range of 42, 35, or whatever. And I could check it out, you know. But like I said, if you can find vintage strings, you should you know, buy them in bulk, because they're getting hard to come by. And if you want to keep your vintage bow, you know, in working order, and keep it, you know, just working order, that's what you got to do sometimes. Because I stockpile everything, you know, so I got tons of archery stuff. And you know, I'm always looking for good arm protection, safety, and I'm silly. I'm thrifty and silly. So what I did is I went to like a thrift shop, and you know, you can buy stuff cheap there, you know, like sporting goods. So I found like a catcher's, you know, for their legs. They have the catcher's shin guard, and I just cut off the part that goes over your shoe, and I made me another reinforced arm protection with the straps in the back, the metal straps. So it's not going to go anywhere, you know. It's a little heavier than the ones that they sell you in the store, but look at that bad boy, you know. If it can stop a baseball, it could definitely stop a little arrow. I don't know, the arrows are pretty painful when they hit, but there you go. See, all I did was cut the shoe cover off, and it fits perfectly, and it covers my arm, and I can wear short sleeves and all that good stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna stop talking so much and try to shoot a shot without it going over the fence, or, you know, through the bushes or whatever. Not the fence, I don't have a fence there. Anyways, enough talking, right guys? I'm gonna try. Here you go. First shot for you guys. Alright. There you go. Pretty good, pretty good. And there's traffic, you know, like it always is. I can't control that. I can just move on, you know. Hope you guys are doing good today, though. Yeah, I've been out here for a little while, like maybe 30 minutes shooting and adjusting my bows. Yeah, I like the D-loop and all that. But the Browning seems to be running good, you know. And like I said, I'm just using my favorite bow today. Yeah, that's it. So there's my video. No, I'm just kidding. 11 minutes. Oh no. All right. One more. Pretty good, pretty good. Can you see that, guys? I'm getting them in the center, you know. I did lose one arrow this morning. You know, when I first started, it's over in that wood pile somewhere, and since I seen that snake the other day, you know, like a couple weeks ago maybe, I'm leery about jumping in that wood pile and looking for it, you know. Because I don't know if you know, but I've heard that tiny snakes have more concentrated venom than the big mamas. I'm not sure, but I don't want to find out. So, you know, I try to, if I can stay out of that wood pile, I will. You know, I'll find the arrow somehow, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, like I said, I'm using carbon fibers, so they're like, I don't know. Place I get them from, you know, it says $8 or whatever, but they're on 50% off, so you get them for like $4 an arrow. I mean, of course you don't get the tip, the point, but you get the arrow, you know. And $4 for, you know, carbon fiber is not bad, and perfect for target practice, you know. I'm a cheapo, yeah, I'm a cheapo. $4, yeah. And that's why I'm not concerned about losing them. I'm concerned about losing them, you know, but breaking them and stuff, it's okay. It's okay, I'll survive. Yeah. Everything's working a-okay, guys. A-okay. And I did wax all my bows, though, you know, because when you buy secondhand bows, you don't know what the person had, you know, before you, what they did to their bow. And sometimes, you know, you can find lemons with some of the gears tore up, and, you know, and stuff like that, uneven or something. You have to always check those things when you're buying a used bow, okay? Be leery of it. There's a reason why sometimes they're cheap, okay? Just, you know, I've been lucky. Everything I've gotten has been all right. But like I said, when you're buying used bows, just be careful, okay? Buyer beware. And like I said, I wasn't sure if they had waxed their bowstrings when they installed them, because, you know, they're old bows. So I waxed all of them, you know. And there's a process to do your waxing, you know, taking off the old wax and stuff. And if you want to know that in detail, like I said, you can Google it on social media. I don't know everything. I only, you know, pick up things along the way. and I use those things. You know, I try to you know, tell you about the things I learned. But like I said, I don't know specifics on each bow and all that stuff. Okay, alrighty, let's check it out. Another shot, Dallas. I think I have to go check. I don't know if I think my arrow went, so I'm gonna have to go look for it. All right. Well, guys, guess what? I didn't miss the target. It just went under. It went underneath another arrow, and I couldn't see the other arrow, so I thought I missed the target. But after checking the video and checking to see if where it went, you know, that's what I do. I have to stop the video to check the video to see what direction the arrow went. And it hit the target, but it hit the target, so it was like right underneath another arrow like that. So that's why I couldn't tell if the arrow took off or what. So yeah, that happens once in a while. So that's no problem, but I'm accountable for all my arrows, guys. Oh, and that's another thing. See what happened? Even though I tied my D-loop, I gotta retie it, so there's that, guys. I was wondering what happened because it felt different, so it came loose. I mean, I just tied it, so I guess I didn't tie it enough, tight enough. So I guess I'm gonna let you guys go and tie this D-loop, and yeah, until next time, guys. Just keep watching and get out there and do something, and yeah, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep shining. All right, bye.